What if one map changed everything you knew about history?
What if?
Mm. Welcome back to another episode with us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about Tartaria.
The old world.
Mm-hmm. It won't be just Tartaria. It's going to be Tartaria. It's going to be how everything, like he said, the old world and how the timelines just don't really match up.
Yeah, something's going on.
Things don't quite match.
Align.
They don't align. Right. We're not talking about simulation align. We're talking about just timelines in general. Things are just a little off. And I feel like we've been misled a little.
Yeah.
Things they tell us, oh, well, back in these days and these times, this is how things were done. Everything was horse and buggy.
Right.
And yet you're building, 2,000-foot tall cathedrals, with the most ornate decorations on it.
In the United States, by the
in
way.
the U.S. Yeah.
We're not talking about Rome or Egypt.
No,
We're talking
none
about
of that.
Here in the U.S. of A.
Yep. So, but we're not going to just focus on that. Like I said, this has also got to do with other places. And I really wanted to touch on Tartaria first. Tartaria has actually kind of been blowing up a little bit in the mainstream. People have been asking questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give the people a little breakdown, a little intro. Tartaria 101.
Tartaria. This is somewhere kind of North Asia, right? North and a little more Western-ish Asia, butts up against kind of where we know China to be now. And Tartaria has been on maps for a very long time.
Old maps.
Matter of fact, I may have some information here. So Ortelius, could be Ortelius, who knows? But that man, he had them on his maps that he did for Asia in 1570.
Woo.
All right. So he along with Mercator, 1595, Bowen in 1744, they all were talking about Tartaria. Now, they may not have called it Tartaria. They have three names that I know of. There may be more. Some of you guys may know. But Tartaria was one name for it. Another one was called Tartary.
Okay.
And the other one was Great Tartary.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. Yep. Great Tartary. And when you look at the maps, it's going to show you how it's just this huge land mass over almost the entire continent.
Yeah.
And Tartaria, Greater Tartaria, it's just, that was the names they had for it. And this was done by people who were making maps. That was what they did.
Right.
Cartographers were out there doing their thing. And they said, everyone knows this is just Tartaria.
It wasn't a secret fictional map. It was published the main map.
Let me tell you this. Not only was it just published back in the I think some people would argue that they may have been wrong about some things in the 1500s, 1600s. We've gone back and forth. Segue into a whole nother thing real quick. When you talk about flat Earth or you talk about round Earth, right? For a long time, everybody believed the Earth was flat.
Right.
And it's in the world or in the timeline of man, it's just kind of a recent thing that we started saying it's round.
Right.
Still yet to be proven, but we say it's round. So but when we're looking at this, we also look at the maps and how people were doing it and building them out, whatever you call it, writing them, drawing maps.
Yeah, we'll say draw.
Well, it was a draw. Yeah, I drew it. But Britannica, I think everybody trusts Britannica when it came to what they knew and what they put in.
That's the most used map, probably.
Maybe. I don't know. But I will tell you that they put out encyclopedias.
That's what. Okay.
Encyclopedias.
What's the full name?
Oh, and Britannica Encyclopedia?
No,
Oh,
there's another word that goes with Britannica, but I can't remember it.
Britannica Americana? I don't know.
Maybe.
I may have to throw a jiu-jitsu move in there. So, yeah, but in 1771, they had it still as part of their information and their encyclopedias and stuff. Is Tartaria.
Yeah.
And like they're just like, yeah, that's a landmass over here.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Why are we never told about it?
Why aren't
we? You learn
No
in
one talks
school
about
about all the old cultures and places in Europe and the Chinese dynasties, and
Absolutely.
never heard of Tartaria in school.
No.
Tell you that.
No. So what are some of the things you know about Tartaria? Do you know anything about it?
So basically, I know, or what I've heard is it is a like lost advanced civilization.
Advanced being in keyword.
Yeah, like super advanced. But it's like almost being removed from history.
Yeah.
It's being, you could still find it like in places like that and on the internet, but it's not taught as fact that it existed and that they were advanced. It's in the conspiracy realm by the mainstream, which is weird.
Yeah. I don't believe in social studies. I ever heard about Tartaria.
No.
Yeah. We heard about a lot of other, and that's what's interesting too, is in world history, like in college, right?
Yeah.
Or even high school. I don't know. Do they do world history? Anyway. So,
Something.
yeah, some kind of history. But like when you're taking world history, they've never mentioned, they'll talk about Greeks. They'll talk about China. They'll talk about, well, they don't talk about Africa much either. I don't know where I learned anything about Africa.
No.
I know things, but I don't know where I learned it.
Right. Yeah, it's mostly
YouTube.
like Roman Empire, Alexander the Great,
Roman Empire,
Chinese dynasties.
Yep.
You learn a little bit about Egypt, Egyptians.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of part of Africa, Middle East, whatever.
Yeah, but
yeah, so it's just, point being is we hear about all this stuff. We even know about South America, with the with their people expanding and what they've done and how they helped in the trades, in the 1700s, 1800s, and
we know about Christopher Columbus, conquistadors,
some Spaniards.
Yeah.
As soon as I see the things go through your brain where you want to say it, and you're like, no, probably shouldn't. But yeah, it's we learn so much, but all of that said to basically say we never learn about Tartaria.
Yeah.
And it was this huge place, and nothing,
like the biggest as far as landmass, dynasty, or whatever you want to call it, in existence.
Yeah.
At that time frame.
So what would you say makes it advanced?
So, I don't know specifically why it's looked at as advanced, because we don't really have much evidence of their existence.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at what people would say are remnants of Tartaria, and specifically some of the stuff in the United States, then you're led to believe that it was an advanced civilization. Because we'll move over to some stuff about the United States.
Okay.
And then we can link that to Tartaria. So the 1800s, late 1700s of the United States, the mainstream view is like settlers, cowboys and Indians, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think of.
Yeah. Well, that's wrong. That's completely wrong. If you look at Chicago, for instance, because it's a great one. If you look at Chicago in the early 1800s, the time frame that we're led to believe, there are horse and buggy, furnaces, wood fires and furnaces in the house to keep them warm.
Pretty sure there was a blacksmith out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Chink, chink.
If you look at the buildings they had, it looks like Rome. Like we're talking 20, 30-foot gold statues, white marble buildings with giant pillars.
Yeah.
Like just crazy architecture that you would expect to be in like ancient Rome.
Yeah. Or an advanced, like a civilization that's been around for a little while.
Right.
Gotten some things done.
And, you know, but we're led to believe that we were just in the horse and buggy, no power tools, right?
Right.
Absolutely no engines, no power tools.
Mm-hmm.
We got some pulleys and some cranks. That's about it.
Yeah.
And they have these just megalithic like structures, these buildings, these capitol buildings that are 30-foot stone columns. Like how are they supposed to do that?
Yeah. How do they move it around?
Yeah, you're pretty much in the same position you are with the Egyptians and the pyramids. Like it doesn't make sense.
I think just on that same thought, you're going, oh, how do they move it around? And you would say, well, they just had a lot of people.
But we know the population.
We know the population
because it was one thing that the Americans did pretty well from beginning to settle these different locations. Is they documented everyone that was there.
Yeah, every place has documentation, censuses of some sort.
Right. So we knew there's only like 20, 30,000 people at the absolute most at Chicago at this time with no power tools. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And then you look at the record and they're like, most of them say they found these buildings. Most of them say that. And then some of them say, oh, we built it in 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it cost this.
Right.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
How did you build this megalith of just massive, crazy structure in 3 months with no power tools?
Right.
And then all those crazy structures, all those buildings that we have pictures of, most of them are black and white. Some of them are in color. But all those crazy structures, and this is spread all over the United States. I mean, all the major cities had this.
Right.
Have these just capitol buildings, or they turn them into capitol buildings, or they turn them into schools, or they turn them into insane asylums, or whatever it may be.
Okay.
But they're all like fortresses and castles, basically, in the United States. But they're all destroyed later.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Like you can Google, I know you've probably seen this, is all over the internet, but you can Google any major city in the United States.
Yeah.
And then put fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all burn down.
Yep. So it's always a great fire, like the Great Fire of Chicago,
right.
The Great Fire of San Francisco, the Great Fire of, any big city. If you put Great Fire in there, it's gonna pop up all of them. All of them.
Yeah, and I know what you're thinking. They used candles. They didn't have electricity or whatever. But I mean, every city,
and it's why is it always a Great Fire?
Yeah, it's because we're not talking about a building fire. We're talking about the entire city.
Yeah, burning down blocks and blocks and blocks. And you're like, well, they didn't have access to water and all this other stuff, right? They're getting out of a well. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what people are like picturing. But that's the point. Is if that's what we picture as this is how they got things done, then how did they get those other things done that are just so crazy?
Yeah.
Without the tools, without all the other
and you got
gadgets.
One in, I think it's Louisiana. It's either Louisiana or one of the other eastern states.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a Capitol building that's just in the middle of a swamp.
Yeah.
And they built.
Sounds like Louisiana.
Several, like 20, 30 feet below it just to anchor it to solid ground into the swamp.
Yeah.
And then it's surrounded by swamp. And it's like a huge stone, crazy looking building. And they actually say that they found it. It's in the record that they just found the building. They made it the Capitol. They built around it. But it's impossible to get those stones that they used to build that building because of the swamp.
Yeah.
Like you can't just roll it on a horse and buggy. You're not going to make it.
And why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you put that there?
It's so crazy.
How do people get to the building?
So that kind of stuff, people link that to an advanced civilization that's no longer here, like Tartaria.
Yeah. So back to Tartaria.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we were trying to trying to figure out what makes Tartaria advanced, because that's the big thing that everybody talks about, right?
Right.
Is, oh, it's supposed to be advanced. Are you familiar with a fella named Nikola Tesla?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that kind of made him such a standout, besides all of his inventions, was his thoughts on free energy.
Right.
And some say that may have something to do with why he is no longer with us.
Correct.
Well, besides age now. But anyway, so he was all about free energy, and he said he found a way.
Yeah.
He found a way. The things that he talked about was that basically energy is around. It's everywhere. You can electricity. You can get it out of the air. Basically, it's free. It's just there. So he's basically saying there's ways you can create things that will capture that energy. That's one of the things that makes Tartaria supposed to be advanced, was they believe that Tartaria had figured this out.
Right.
And they said the buildings that were out there were the domed buildings, the tall cathedral buildings with the teeples and all that stuff. And everybody's like, well, they actually weren't there for design. They were there because that was how they were capturing and holding on to energy.
Yeah.
Right. So all of these buildings they found over there in the North Asian area were supposed to be like advanced buildings that were capturing energy, capturing electricity.
Yeah. And a lot of those buildings have like you were talking about, these poles randomly on top of the building.
Yes.
And they believe that may have been used to just capture energy out of the air, like Tesla. So it's like built into the building itself, that it was powering itself or something like that. Yeah,
the building was designed to supply its own electricity.
Yeah.
And you had all you wanted because it was just present.
Right.
And I've heard similar things about, electricity coming from the ground.
Yep.
People being able to pull it from there. And much like how we do solar today, where you have the solar panels that capture the energy, and then it routes it to a battery, and the battery then holds it until you put it wherever you need it, use it wherever you need it. That was part of the building as well. So they captured this energy, and they would have parts of the building that stood out that were like, this was basically the battery pack for it. So, and we're talking, hundreds of years ago that this was being put on maps. So how long were they around before then?
Right.
That's where things get tricky,
And I think overall the history that we're told of the United States, it just doesn't add up. Do you know who the first person or the first group of people were to discover the United States? I just recently found this out.
If you're talking like discover, you're talking about people who crossed the Bering Strait from Asia? They came down from the north?
Not natives, from people who came from somewhere else. That was like, oh, this is the United States.
The Spaniards?
No. They were over 1,000 years later.
Oh, you're talking about Vikings.
Vikings.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Vikings.
The OGs. Okay.
Vikings came to the United States over 1,000. I think it's 1,000. You can check me on that. Over 1,000 years before the Spaniards. And there's actually a Viking settlement that's preserved today in the northeast of the United States. You can go visit it. It's a big Viking house, stuff all around it. Like, they lived here.
Yeah.
And then
I watched the show and they did that.
Yeah. And then people always say Christopher Columbus, he didn't even come to the United States. He
went to the islands.
Yeah, he went to the Caribbean islands.
Yeah.
There was another Spaniard many years after him that actually came and was in Florida and Georgia and
St. Augustine area.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but yeah.
But they all talk about, even the Vikings back then, talk about natives being here. Do you know how long ago the natives are supposed to have been in the United States? This shocked me.
No.
15,000 years.
Who came up with that number?
That's the number.
Okay.
10 to 15,000 years Native Americans were here.
But the theory being that they did travel across the Bering Strait
from
before
Asia.
it got flooded over. You used to be able to walk. It was just an actual landmass.
Yep.
And then they came down, and then they knew it up in Canada, north, all that area. They were supposed to be the ones who traveled south. So basically, it's all the same
group.
Yeah, not yeah, but
yeah. And they the Native Americans had like cities, well, like
cities.
Yeah, like not cities, like
no, I've seen westerns. They only have teepees,
but they had like city states basically. Like hundreds of them all over the United States.
Oh yeah,
and they spoke like hundreds of languages, and then if you look at their origin stories, I know this is a big segue here, but
it's okay.
Their origin stories almost all say they came from the stars.
Yeah, I've heard that.
They were
heard that. That's a lot of it's passed down.
Yeah, so some of them say, like specifically, they went through like a portal to get here from another world. Okay. And then some of them say that their creator brought them here from the stars.
Yeah.
So just interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I had no idea Indians were that old.
Right.
Of a people.
Right.
So, which is pretty cool.
Old as everybody else, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, okay. Everybody's been around for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is the free energy, right?
When
we talk about back to that. We went. But the free energy is like one of the things that made them advanced.
Right.
Right. And there's other things. There's other things we could talk about with that, but essentially, this advanced civilization that was bordered up against China, I believe they had some type of fallout, of course, right? Because the question is who built the wall?
The Great Wall.
The Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
Right? Was it really the Great Wall of China?
People have always talked about the facing of the wall.
That's right.
And how it's backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And people think it's to keep people out of China.
Yeah.
But the way the wall's constructed, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
If you look at like normal forts and battlements and walls that are built, the way that's lined up for like archers and stuff like that, it appears to be, it's kind of like saying that, we built a barbed wire fence to keep people out, but we built it backwards. The barbs are on our side.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make sense with the traditional logic.
I think that's one of the things that kind of throws people off is when they look at it, is where, who when was it built?
Right.
And then because this thing was built, from what I understand, it was built over thousands of years. It took like 2,000 years to build, literally.
Doesn't the Chinese say they found it?
I don't think so.
They say they built it?
I think they say they built it because they say the graves of the people who were building it are under the wall.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they built the wall on top of them as they were building it. And it was built by multiple dynasties. So basically, but that's what they're saying. But whenever you look at it, it's like, well, then why did you put the battlements on this side? Why do you have the holes and the breaks and the cutouts? The cutouts and all that. Why is it facing inside? Now, the real answer that we're given on that, because that is a question that was posed, is they say, well, over those years, people were constantly going back and forth about, like with who would take control of the wall. And once one side had control of the wall, they would build it where the battlements were on this side. And then they would lose control of the wall, and then they would keep building it, and then they would build it with it on this side. And also they said, well, in different parts of the wall, there were enemies on both sides. Tell me.
Why would there be?
Why would you build a wall
between two enemies?
Right. I'm going to go, hey, I'm going to go into enemy territory and I'll build the wall right down the middle.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, what? We'll kill you from both sides.
Yeah.
You
that
know,
makes
like,
sense.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. I just thought that was pretty interesting. It's like, why would they do that? And I'm in realistically, is it possible that they conquered one part of the land and then, like, as they were building the wall, they were still at war and then they lost a part of the land and they continued the wall? And even though that the bad people were on this side now or whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, there is possible, but why would you even continue? Why would you focus on a wall?
Yeah. Like, what's the purpose of a wall that takes that long to build?
Yeah.
What do you like?
I guess they thought they were going to be forever enemies.
Mm,
You know? And oh, here's the question. Who were they fighting?
yeah.
Do you know? Who they say they were fighting? Who the Chinese said they were fighting?
I know that they fought Japan for the longest time.
Yeah, but that's not where the wall is.
Yeah, I know. So Mongols.
Mongols.
Okay.
It is. Okay. So Mongols. So they're fighting the Mongols. Now, I personally don't know how long the Mongols were out and about, but I do know that the Mongols took everything.
Yeah, Genghis Khan didn't play.
Them dudes literally conquered everywhere, bro. They were all up in Europe. They were all up down in the dang islands, and those guys they conquered everything.
Yeah, that's
and like
what they do.
isn't like a large percentage of the world his offspring?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty shocking statistic.
Yeah, homeboy had some babies.
He was doing his thing.
Yeah. So anyway,
But speaking of architecture in the wall, I do want to just come back to this. One of the strongest pieces of evidence for Tartaria's advanced civilization, like you were saying, are the star forts. Have you seen the star forts?
I'm very familiar with the star forts.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
So they're like stunning geometrical star-shaped forts,
Yeah.
but which includes like the ground itself. So you have like, it looks as if they dug all this stuff up, made a pond, and then filled in where they wanted land in these crazy geometric shapes.
Yeah.
And supposedly they were just used for cannons. So they built them that way so they could have cannons in 360. But where'd they get the equipment to move the earth to do that? It's just shocking, like the pictures of them.
Yeah.
It's not just a fort, right? It's not just a building in the shape of a star. They have like the ground has been removed and other things where it's awesome to look at. And it shows that there was some level of advanced technology or equipment outside of horse and buggy that was taking place. But yeah, look up some pictures of star forts.
Yeah.
What do you know about them? Because you did make a gasp.
Because so you're saying this was in Tartaria.
The location of the star forts.
They're everywhere.
Okay, thank you. And it says they were designed in the 1500s to the 1700s.
Yeah,
which is nuts.
Hey, look up when were cannons invented. Let's look that up.
Cannons invented. That's a good idea. Let's see, because that's what the
1300, 1200,
12. Yeah, late 1200s to 1300s.
Bada bing. So they came up with cannons in the 1300s, and then in the 1500s they decided to start doing star forts because the star forts were designed to hold the cannon so they could have 360 coverage with a cannon
with overlapping defensive fire.
That sounds super fancy.
It does.
But if you look up star forts, you find out how many civilizations were using them.
Yeah, and we're not talking about an area with one building on it.
Yeah.
These star forts were massive.
Yeah.
Like you could have 30, 40, 50 buildings.
Yeah.
All within this quote unquote fort.
Mm-hmm.
In the shape of a star. And it's not just like I said, the building or the town and whatever, it's the ground has been removed
Yeah.
to create these just crazy designs into the ground.
When you say the ground has been removed, you're saying that they basically built the buildings into the ground?
No. What I'm saying is take a like a large area, right? And then you're going to go in, remove all the dirt down to water. Okay? And then you're going to go back and just put in dirt strategically, leaving not just a moat around the fort, but a moat in crazy geometrical shapes, like with triangles and, star fort. So it's wild to look at. It would be like,
So so the buildings are literally sitting on the only land available.
yes,
and everything else around it is just water.
Yeah, and then
Water.
there's more land on the other side of the water. But it's like a
Water.
crazy situation. But so there's theories that these were used for energy generators.
Oh.
Or they were power plants
Yeah.
because of the shapes and designs, and
Yeah.
so just interesting stuff.
Isn't it?
Piggybacking on your China wall. Great wall.
So Trump is coming out.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
All right. So anyway, Tartaria butted up against Great Wall of China. The question is who really built it? And I believe it's ambiguous enough that we could say we don't know.
Yeah.
Because the answers were given, they are answers, but are they the right answer?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It just, there's still a lot of room for question.
And then, the comparisons there again about like the pyramids, they give us answers, but the answers just don't add up.
They don't add up.
When you look at it in detail, it's just like, no.
Yeah. And how about the dang, we're really segueing here, but how about the dang pillars that go under the pyramids?
Oh yeah,
stuff,
that they
man?
recently found.
Yeah, they go down with like freaking.
I think they got
a
approval
long
to
way.
start digging that.
Yeah, I don't remember how far they said. Was it like a mile?
It
or
was
something?
several miles.
Was it several miles?
Yeah.
How do you go down several miles? Do you know how far we've gone in modern times?
I just found this out.
Yeah,
8 miles.
Yep. Yeah, that's and,
No one has
and where is it? Russia.
Yeah,
Russia.
No one's ever been, and then they say after they hit the 8 miles, they hit an unpenetrable field.
There's a few things that have been said about it, but the impenetrable field and the heat. They said there was so much heat that it was destroying their
Oh, really?
their
I didn't hear
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
And they said the Russians said that they lowered microphones down in there.
I've heard about this.
And they said they heard some very disturbing things.
Yeah.
Supposedly the audio's out there. I don't know how
It is.
how
I've heard
credible you can be with that, but
and I don't know if it's true. I don't know how much of it is true. Yeah, I don't know. Because we have I listened to the audio, but I don't know.
I haven't listened to it.
Because basically it just sounds like a lot of yelling and screaming. It sounds like just
interesting.
Very, very loud screaming and yelling by like a lot of people.
Like painful?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what they're saying. Whether it's really happening, I don't know. And whether that's real or not, because I also saw a bunch of stuff saying, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that's always going to be the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, so their goal was to just go as deep as we can, and they hit, I think it was 8 on the dot or 8.6 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I wanted to go further, but
yeah, they were trying to like really get down there, and they had all the modern technology, diamond tip stuff, and they just couldn't. They referenced it as an unpenetrable field or impenetrable. Yeah, that substance that they ran into, whether it's like a crazy new rock or whatever. But
okay, yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, so all right, so that brings us to modern times again. Let's talk about that. American timeline.
Yeah.
All right. So we founded. Nope. We landed on America.
Yep.
Well, Columbus did in 1492, right? He sailed the ocean blue or whatever.
The Americas.
The Americas, yeah, part of it. So it was 1513 when we got to Florida. Okay. So 1542 is when we saw California, right?
Yep.
It was seen. 1607 we settled Jamestown. 1620 Plymouth. And then 1776, of course, we actually founded America. That's when we were actually founded America.
Yep.
Let's see. 1803, we did the Louisiana Purchase. And then here's where it starts to get interesting, right? I'm giving you all a bunch of information. I understand that. But what I'm getting at is 1804 to 1806, Lewis and Clark sat out to just
expedition.
Do their expedition to draw out the maps of the rest of America.
Yeah.
Because at this point, we really only knew the eastern seaboard.
Right.
We did the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, which gave us the majority of America at that point, right?
Yep.
That's when we were like, okay, now this is ours. Like we still didn't have the West Coast. This was just mid and east.
Yeah.
Wasn't the West Coast yet.
And all this time, there's supposedly, well, I mean, we can say not supposedly, but there's Native Americans who are, by all accounts, hostile to us Americans.
Yeah. Yeah. We were getting attacked regularly, right?
The only reason I'm adding that, and I referenced that earlier, is, when we're building these structures,
we're under siege the entire time.
We're supposedly under siege.
Right, because we're colonizing.
Yeah.
Right? That's what's happening, right? We're colonizing people's places, and they're like, hey, you can't be here. You can't build that.
Yeah.
Why does my arrow sound like Spider-Man? Anyway, so they're out there doing their thing, and they're exploring.
Yep.
They're exploring the lands and trying to come up with, the maps that we need to go further.
Right.
Now, how far does this landmass go? Because I believe at this point we don't know, right? We're just like, how big is this place? So they go through 1804 to 1806. In 1848, we do the California thing. 1849 was the gold rush. That's over in, we're talking about California at this point.
Yeah.
I'm bringing all of this up because when you look at the pictures of places like, say, San Francisco,
that's very interesting.
We're talking about in 1804 and 1806, we were just starting to explore over there.
So there's no one there.
There's no one there except for
hostile,
tribes.
Indigenous people.
Yeah. Tribes, and Mexico kind of was up that way, but they weren't building much either.
Yeah.
Like they were still basically Native American-ish as far as like what their types of buildings. And I know there were pueblos and things like that.
Right.
There were houses of clay and some stone, but we're not talking about cities.
Yeah.
Not like that, not up there. So they go and they discover whatever they discovered on their expedition. And then we start looking at when San Francisco was founded, which I don't know if I actually have that. But when they find San Francisco, how fast it turned into a city. And then look at the types of buildings that were in the city after it was founded. And how big it got over just a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, so it says, we didn't find... San Francisco was officially incorporated as a city in 1850.
1850. Oh, okay. I got that. 1850 statehood with San Francisco, and it had 25,000 people. 25,000 people. So that's pretty significant. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, so 1850, right? Okay. There's a picture of San Francisco. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
1851.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a full-blown city. I'm looking at 100 stone buildings. Brick and mortar. We're not talking about huts. We're talking about brick and mortar.
Right.
Buildings.
Yeah.
Over 100.
Yeah.
Maybe closer to 200. All right, in that picture.
That's 1851.
So a year.
Yeah. Well, now I do want to say that just because it was founded, and established in 1850, that doesn't mean they didn't already have things going that direction, right?
Right.
They didn't go, this is now this city, now we build. Right? They were already there building. So I'll give them that. But how, at this point, by the way, it wasn't until 1869 before we had the transcontinental railroad.
Right.
Where it actually made it all the way to the west from the east. So 19 years after it was founded is when that happened. So that means 25,000 people to just get the city going.
Yeah.
Had to make that trek across what is it? What are we, 3,000?
Yeah, it's a lot of miles.
3,000 miles?
Maybe not that many, but it's a lot.
1,500 miles.
Yeah.
1,500 miles. There we go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, here to
I think it's 1,500 miles.
East coast of Texas is like 800.
I don't know why I said 3,000.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's because I was thinking there and back again.
Yeah. But
Bilbo.
On that topic also, we can look at pictures. We have pictures of 1848 and it's nothing.
Oh.
And then we have pictures of 1850, 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
We have a full-blown city.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and
where do they get the stone?
Yeah, that was going to be, where are they getting the bricks?
So I get the wood, okay? Because you got to cut it down.
Mm-hmm.
But the brick, it's not like you just got it. And it's not like I'm going to make that 1,500-mile trek with a horse and buggy with bricks.
And we have, like we were talking about earlier, they had pretty good documentation.
Yeah.
1848, 1,000 residents. That's it.
So from 1,000 to 25,000 in 2 years.
In 1 year.
1848.
It's documented that there was 1,000. And then from 1848 to 1849, it went from 1,000 to 25,000. And then in one more year, they built a full-blown city.
Yeah. Wow.
So
I guess everybody that came was all carpenters and masons.
That's it. And they all had bricks in their backpacks.
Yeah. They're like, I got you. We're all going to bring one brick each.
We'll show you how to build a city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, and at that time...
We go from pictures of rolling hills and Indians to full-blown city in 3-4 years tops.
Wow. It's crazy. And then again, if you look at the type of buildings, like they were getting up there, man.
Yeah.
They were doing some things.
I'll hit a couple of the most well-known buildings that are like cathedrals and castle style buildings in the United States. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so people can kind of, if they want to, take a look at them and see.
Mm-hmm.
But the Virginia state capitol was built from 1785 to 1788. 3 years.
3 years.
And I mean, this is a massive, massive palace with a cathedral, massive stone columns. It's utterly insane. There's no other buildings like it in the area.
Right.
People were saying it was inspired by ancient Rome temple. It's like a almost 1-to-1 comparison to a temple in Rome. Like,
yeah.
What are settlers? How do they even know what Rome is?
Right.
To do a look-alike building.
Yeah.
To ancient Rome. They didn't even have picture books or anything. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? They're just carrying around a picture book of Roman buildings,
I love that you're saying picture book.
book of pictures. And then we have Massachusetts State Building. It was done in 1798. Okay.
Okay.
It has a gold dome made out of gold.
Like real gold?
Yes.
Well, probably was real gold.
Yeah. They probably stole it all. Has granite construction with elegant classical detailing. It still serves as the state capitol building today.
Wow.
And it's massive.
Yeah.
And they supposedly built that with horse and buggy
Yeah.
while being attacked and scalped.
Okay. All right. Let with this same energy and this same thought.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about world fairs?
I was going to hit that next. I got a lot on here about the world fairs.
Now.
Let's hit a couple more of these.
Okay.
And then we'll go straight into the world fairs.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the Tennessee State Capitol building.
Okay.
Built from 1845 to 1859. So it took a little longer to build this one.
That's a long one right
But
there.
it's constructed almost entirely of limestone, which is ridiculously heavy.
Yeah.
So it's considered one of America's finest examples of Greek revival architecture.
Wow.
Again, how do United States settlers from Europe, who were basically poor on a horse and buggy, supposedly living in tents and makeshift buildings, trading animal skins with Indians for food, how do they know anything about Roman architecture?
And what I feel like what he's saying here is that
we're talking about low IQ people here.
Okay, that's what they want us to believe.
Right, exactly.
That is what our books show us. That's what every show, every movie we see when it comes to pre-America, like being really built.
Yeah,
it's just a bunch of settlers that were plebs, right? And not being disrespectful, but that like they were the lower class people that were just sent out, right? The people of any renown, they came
much later
when they knew things were safe,
right?
When they felt like things were established enough, and I'm sure some did occasionally come over, of course.
Yeah,
but not in droves.
No, we didn't send when we went to settle the United States. We didn't pack up all of the architecture people, the best builders in Europe, and put them on a boat and say, you might make it, you might not.
Yeah.
And then when you get there, you might be killed or eaten, you might not.
Right. What was it, like a 2-week trip or something like that?
Most people died on the boat.
Yeah. It
was bad.
Freaking dysentery.
All right, last one, and then we'll go to the World Fairs, because this one's huge.
All right. Tell me about it.
It's the Texas State Capitol building. It's funny all these buildings became Capitol buildings and whatnot, but
I wonder why it's always a Capitol building.
Built from 1882 to 1888. Okay.
6 years.
It stands taller than our modern U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
It was constructed from sunset red, quotes, Texas granite. So made entirely out of granite blocks.
I feel like that's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how many horses you would need to drag a granite block.
At least one.
So,
and by a block, I mean,
Yeah. So, I mean, if when y'all get some time, just Google those places.
Yeah. Check them out.
Look at the architecture.
Check them out.
And say to yourself, can they build that with zero power tools? And when we say power tools, we're talking about no engines whatsoever.
Yeah.
No cranes.
They don't have a miter saw out there.
Yeah.
We're
talking chisel. In 3 years, 4 years, they're building buildings larger than the modern state building in Washington, D.C. In the middle of nowhere, out of granite. So, moving on to the World Fairs.
World Fairs.
I love the World Fairs. It's great. It's very interesting.
So the World Fairs caught people's attention because the World Fairs are these grandiose setups. It's, huge events with people from all over coming to visit and you'll see just amazing like buildings and all of this awesome displays of our architecture, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they show like, and they're huge, and there's
Yeah.
people. It's like Disney World, you
Yeah,
know?
and there's a lot of pictures. I mean, most of them are black and white.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of pictures of these World Fair events and the buildings that were there. And so the theory is that all of those crazy buildings and structures and all this stuff that they built for the World Fairs were temporary.
Yep.
And they were only supposed to stand for a year or two. And they even say that they're built out of like paper and
Very, very
temporary style buildings. But if you look at the pictures, they're stone.
Yeah.
Like those are stone buildings, and some of the buildings are still there today. There's 3 known World Fairs. There's one that took place in Chicago,
1893,
and that's one of the crazy ones. If y'all haven't looked at what old Chicago, like 1800 Chicago looks like, it's insane.
Yeah.
It looks like when you picture the capital of Greece and the Caesars there and all that, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
We're talking white stone everywhere, massive gold statues with wings, like crazy looking stuff. But it's all been destroyed. Some of that stuff still stands. Fire. Yeah. Some of that stuff still stands, but it's insane.
Yeah. Continue. Oh, you were saying Chicago. Did you
Yeah. So we got Chicago at 1893. We got St. Louis, 1904.
Mm-hmm.
Huge one. And then San Francisco in 1915.
Wow. And you got Buffalo, 1901. Buffalo, New York.
Oh, I didn't know Buffalo.
Yeah. So it's there are a few places that put it on. They put on for their city. Anyway. So, but yeah, they put on this huge event, and like he was saying, it's like this the temporary architecture is what it was deemed to be. It was like, oh, we're gonna build all this amazing stuff, but it's not really like permanent. I know it looks beautiful and it's gorgeous, and don't worry, it's safe to be around, but it's it's only going to be up for a year or whatever.
Yeah, it was 1 to 2 years is what they were saying. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a World Fair that was held in Paris.
Okay.
In 1889, and we have pictures.
Mm-hmm.
We have a massive city in Paris in 1889 with the Eiffel Tower up.
Okay.
Would you like to guess the attendance to that World Fair?
The attendance to a World Fair in Paris?
In 18...
Over what period of time? Like how long was the fair going?
That's a good question. Let's see.
And if we're talking about total attendance over the amount of time that it was there, oh man, 20,000? 20,000 people? I don't know what's a big number then, but 50,000. Gotta be.
It didn't say how long. It just says for, I guess maybe a year, because it just says it was called the Exposition Universelle of 1889. Was a World's Fair held in Paris to showcase industrial innovation, science, art, blah, 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 blah. 32 million people documented attending that. That's a lot of people for Europe. Most people don't understand that Europe is like smaller than Texas.
Yeah.
Like all of Europe is UK, Paris, Italy, Britain.
Yeah. You can just pick it up and put it inside of Texas.
You take all those countries and you put them in Texas, and you're not even filling Texas.
It's our bigger state. Not the biggest, but the bigger.
And they're saying in early 1800s, 32 million people attended.
32 million.
I didn't know we had that many people.
What year was this?
This was
1889.
89, yes, 1889.
So we still had not much longer before World War I.
Yeah.
Maybe if we had kept up the World Fairs, we wouldn't have had that. But anyway, yeah, So you had 32 million people attend this World Fair in Paris. Man, that is a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
A lot.
Yeah. I was way under, I feel like.
Way under.
There are events that go on that are like world famous right now, and never has travel been easier.
Yep.
And you still like some of you guys might know about like these cons, such as like the West Coast has like Comic-Con, the East Coast has like Dragon Con or New York Comic-Con or whatever. I know. I think Comic-Con gets like 1 million people, you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe 2. I don't know.
We got the stats for the New York one.
What do you mean?
I know how many people attended the New York one.
And then you have the Dragon Con over here, which is a big one. Now it's the lower states, but still, these cons are big. And I think they maxed at like around 100 to 120,000.
Jeez.
So these are big events. That's a very small amount compared.
Yeah.
Anyway, so tell me about New York.
So the New York World Fair, which, again, the architecture is insane. And supposedly it took place in 1939.
Oh, wow.
That seems a little modern. It said 1939 to 1940.
Okay.
But we have megalithic structures here. I mean, we have a giant sphere. We got statues. We got what they call the spike that comes out of the ground. It's really tall. What do they call those?
Megalith?
Like that spike right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, guess how many people attended over 2 seasons, so 2 years.
2 years. How many people attended? Well, now that I know 32 million went to that other one, I'm going to say
Paris.
15 million.
15 million? This is New York in 1930, 44 million.
44 million.
44 million people.
That's almost 3 times what I said.
And see, even when I'm looking up facts about these world fairs,
yeah,
they're referencing them in the late 1800s.
Right.
But that one says it was in 1900s.
Yeah. Well, not in just 1900s, but we're talking about 1930. What'd you say? 39?
Yeah.
So, hold on. First off, when did World War II start? Wasn't that like
41 or 2?
Yeah. Because it initially was kicking off in 1933. Things were starting to get real hairy. And then
yeah,
yeah. And then things, continued on. But anyway, what I'm getting at is and that's New York.
That's Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
In 1800s.
That's that's
93.
Whenever I'm thinking about like what they're doing and the time that they put into building this, it's so big, it's so huge, and there's a ton of people. What year did you say? 1939 with how many people?
So for New York, we're talking 1939 to 1940. 44 million.
44 million. So in 1900, the U.S. had 76 million people. So half.
That's more than I thought.
Yeah. Half of the people basically
were able to travel.
Yeah. Were able to travel to New York for this World Fair.
Without getting killed by the Indians.
Yeah. Well, this is 19. I think that was probably done.
Yeah.
All right, so
well, I'm still back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
The Chicago one's insane, though, man. I think that one's my favorite.
It was so big.
It was called the World's Columbian Exposition, and it says its most famous features including the gleaming white city, Chicago.
Yeah, man, it's amazing, and so you got the World Fairs just taking off, but. So aside from that, so that the point of this is, it's like this was all temporary architecture,
Right.
right? This is all these huge buildings, these magnificent like setups of, water and statues and all
Yeah.
this stuff that's made out of paper.
Supposedly.
Kind of like what we flew to the moon on.
Mm-hmm.
Tinfoil.
But yeah, that's their explanation on why none of this stuff is still standing. Is they purposely built it temporarily.
Yeah.
But if you look at the pictures, there's no way those structures are temporarily, especially with most of them still standing.
I just realized they're doing like origami.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. They took the ancient techniques of origami and they started folding paper to where it was like
buildings.
Yeah, it turned into buildings.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sound structured buildings so you could walk on. So we know. Well, a little bit more on that though is also the time it took to build the cathedrals, the capitals. You kind of talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
The architecture that we were putting into it, the years they were built, and how big and ornate they were. These tall cathedrals that we were building here with horse and buggy.
Chisels and hammers.
Right? No power tools. They're building scaffolding up 300 feet. I don't know what the real number is, but it's like
it's a lot,
100 or more feet, which is a long way, by the way, guys. That's 10 stories.
Yeah. So you had to build a building next to the building to climb up on that building to build the building you're building.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And while you're up there, you're on the dang scaffolding and you're just going chink, chink, chink.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I made it look exactly like the rest of it.
Which is a direct replica of a building from ancient Rome.
Yes. It's amazing.
So they're all amazing historians, masons, architectural geniuses.
Yeah.
And they're running around in horse and buggy trying not to get murdered.
Alfred over there with no teeth.
Yeah.
And
who hadn't taken a shower in a week.
Yeah. Who only knows how to grow potatoes. You're getting him up there, and this dude is putting out some of the most beautiful, ornate designs you've ever seen in the side of a building. Yeah. It's amazing. It's crazy. Good for them. I'm glad we've done all that. So here comes the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Is what happened to all of the buildings, right? So we already know, we talked about fires, the great fires.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Right? So we start looking at all of our buildings over a lot of areas, a lot of places.
A lot of the older buildings all over the U.S.
All over. And other countries.
Yes.
And other countries. Have you ever heard of something called the
mud flood? Yes. And this one's pretty cool because like where I went to elementary school.
What'd you call it?
Elementary.
Okay.
It's good enough.
Elementary.
It was an old building.
Mm-hmm.
A historic building. And so since I've been there, they've actually demolished the building, but because it was so old and historic, they did what they do with a lot of historic buildings. They kept the face. So the entire face of the building was kept and braced. They took everything out of the back and built a new building and just used that face because it's historic. Well, it also had the same similar thing that when you're talking about mud floods, all these buildings are kind of having. It's where the first floor is like partially underground.
Yeah.
So you can walk up to a building and you see like tops of windows, but 80% of the window is underground. Like
right.
It doesn't make sense. Like if that was a basement, you wouldn't put windows.
You wouldn't even try.
Yeah, because what are you going to look at?
Yeah.
Earthworms? Like, what are we doing? But this building had that also. And so when I first read about the mud flood, that actually stood out in my mind. Like, I've seen this.
Yeah.
And you can see it a lot. Like, just go out into your capital area, wherever you live, and you'll find old buildings that there's stairs that go up to a door, which, if you look at it closely, there weren't doors. They're most likely windows because the actual door in the first floor is partially underground.
Yeah.
and they all have basements now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's weird. Why does so many old buildings have basements? Doesn't make any sense.
Well, I would have said they would have basements for a logical reason, which is that was their way of keeping their vegetables and their produce like cool, right?
Okay.
Like
Okay.
cellars.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So it's kind of moist down there.
Yeah.
Moisture in the air, but it's
Mhm.
cooler.
That makes sense.
And yeah. So
But it's just a lot more work for a people who don't have power tools.
right. Every time you build, you have to dig like
12
a lot.
feet of earth.
Like yeah,
That's a lot
it's
of
a
dirt.
lot. It's a lot.
But you know, looking at the windows and stuff, and that they just don't line up. And you can go, especially in like larger cities like New York, where almost all of the old buildings are like that.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's not just that they have basements. It's not just that. It's the fact that it's so clear that for some reason the ground comes halfway up the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like, why does your basement why is it only halfway under the ground?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, right?
No.
Maybe they just got tired of digging, right? Clearly, that's not what happened, you know. And this is a copy paste across the world.
Yeah.
You can go to European areas, you can go to Asia, all this. There are places that have evidence that the what do you call it? The structures, the buildings, have, for whatever reason, been either lowered or the ground has risen
Right.
to a point where, because it's not like it's like, oh, that's symmetrical. Oh, it went right to this line. Nope.
Yeah.
It's stopped randomly halfway up the building, and then that just became ground.
Yeah.
And the theory is it's the mud flood, right? Big torrential pour down of whatever caused huge land masses to turn liquidy
Yeah.
and just flood massive areas. But then it all stopped for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And hardened and turned into regular ground.
Yeah.
And now you just got a ground that's halfway up the buildings.
Is there any any official explanation for that?
I don't know.
I couldn't find anything.
It's just called the mud flood, and we're talking about all across America: Chicago, Seattle, Sacramento. It's all of these places are showing signs that this has happened, but nobody knows why. Nobody knows what led to it. And it's like I said, it's not just here; it's other places as well. So, what happened? What caused this? And this also gets people asking questions of what was buried? What's under the ground that we don't even know about? So when we find fossils, if you believe that stuff, if you find fossils, and it's 20 feet down, but yet we have buildings that were 15 feet under the ground, basically, where they were on top. Now they're 10 feet, 5 feet, 7 feet, whatever. Well, how far down should the fossils be at that point?
Right.
How many times has this happened over the last billion years or whatever?
Yeah.
How many ever millions of years it was? I don't remember what the number is, but it's been, X amount of millions of years that, these prehistoric animals have died and fossilized under the ground or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we're having modern locations that have hardened ground now from ancient floods.
Yeah. And
or not ancient, but sorry, floods.
We have most of the major cities, not just in the United States, we're talking ancient cities too, like Rome, Persia. They all seem to have been built on top of cities. Have you heard this?
Yes.
Yeah. So they start excavating Roman city, the ancient Roman stuff, and they find all the Roman stuff and then they keep digging, and they find another building
Yeah.
that dates 2,500 years before Roman times.
Yeah.
So they don't understand what's going on there, and that's also happening like in New York. If you look at New York, they have dug in New York and just found like a full building underground. And most of when you talk about the subway system in New York, that's an interesting topic because a lot of the tunnels where the tracks are
already there.
the tunnels were there,
Yeah.
walled and everything.
Yeah.
Like, they were there.
Yeah.
They don't know why, and they're like, let's just put some tracks in here
Yeah.
for a subway. It's pretty crazy.
So the question is were the tunnels done on the low key? Were they done by not modern? Were they done by people coming from Europe, of somewhere in Europe? They came over and then they were all like, "Hey, hush, hush, let's build these tunnel systems down here
Right.
and not tell anybody." Were they done then, or were they done before that? Because if you're talking about before that, well, now all we know is Native Americans were over there. Native Americans weren't building tunnel systems, right?
Yeah.
Not like that, not walled. You know, I'm sure they had areas in the ground, just like oh my gosh, somewhere in Europe, they were hiding from for whatever reason they would go and live underground.
Yeah.
And to hide from something above ground. There's a lot of speculation about what those things may have been. Aliens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just there's a lot of things that you can call into question, like why are these things already there? Who did it?
Yeah.
Why did they do it? It's a lot of stuff left up, in the Air Force.
Yeah.
That we gotta that we can think about. And that's the thing is, has history, here's a question, has history been just overgrown with other history to the point where we just don't know and we don't remember? Or has it been deliberately sabotaged and rewritten?
Yeah. And you want to like assume that there's no malice involved.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is we have so much evidence now of there being malice by leaders. And
Yes.
so it's like so much so that you would almost lean on there being malice over there not being malice.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe, for anyone to believe the mainstream narrative about anything at this point. You want to look at it yourself. You want to you take everything with a grain of salt now.
Right.
Even if, no matter who it's coming from, it could
Yeah.
be coming from the top, air quotes, scientist or specialist or mind in the field, and you're still like, nah, let me do some Googling.
Right. And that's the thing is, and can you trust the Google? All that
too, but
yeah, it's you sit there, you pull up the Google box, you start checking stuff out, and then a year later, it may say something completely different.
yep.
So just like now the encyclopedias, I talked about Britannica, right? Britannica used to have Tartaria in there.
Yep.
And now Tartaria is not mentioned. Also, did you know, like, they used to have the definition for a dang unicorn?
Really?
Because unicorns were considered a real thing.
Interesting.
But they were not what we know them to be. Unicorns were basically like rhinos, like rhinoceroses. It was like a horned beast, but like a singular horned beast or whatever. But the way it was described was basically a rhinoceros.
Interesting.
And yet somehow we've turned it into a horse with a horn.
With rainbows.
Yeah, with rainbows. And
why is that?
sparkles.
Why are horses or unicorns always associated with rainbows? I think that's modern though. Because
of course, yeah.
Because if you look at unicorns in like old fairy tales and stuff, I don't think they're.
Yeah, I think they were more like
winged.
evil.
Yeah, winged and
Yeah.
Kind of great.
We turned them into something nice, but they didn't used to be.
We do that with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we change it around.
Like
Fit
bears.
the narratives we want.
Bears are my favorite.
Oh, yeah. How nice they are?
How we like fooled everyone into believing they're nice with the teddy
That's what I'm
bear
saying.
and the
Yeah.
shows and
Right,
things will rip you up.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like how nice they are. That's the trick. Is everybody's like, oh, Smokey.
I've seen people going like, look at the bear and taking selfies with the bear. I'm like, dude, you are nuts. That thing will eat you for fun.
Yeah.
Like not even for food. They'll just rip you apart for fun.
I don't think. Let me tell you something. I understand there's weight classes. Don't let these people fool you that weight classes don't matter. They matter. There's a reason there's weight classes. I know this because I'm not a small guy. I'm 225 pounds, right? I'm a little hefty, a little thick. But I'm gonna tell you, I was training with a friend, and the type of training we were doing, we happened to be on the ground fighting, and I got pushed up against a wall. And normally in a training environment, what happens is you reset.
Yep.
You get up against the wall and you go, oh no, I'm at the wall. Hey, we'll get back in the same exact position we're in, except we'll do it in the middle.
Yeah.
And we'll continue from there. We were on mats, and these mats were not like slick kind of mats. These were like, I don't want to say gritty, but they had a little texture to them, right?
Grippy.
Yeah, you can get some grip on them. And so I was like, oh, we got to reset. And instead of us just getting up and going to reset.
Oh, no, you got carried.
He grabbed me with one hand and he just said, yeah. And he just like no effort. He just puts me right where he wants me to be. And I was like, don't you ever emasculate me like that again, man. Don't you? I will get up and walk. You don't. But this was that cornbread fed kind of man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
That doesn't make sense strength.
Yeah. Now he was only like 250.
Yeah.
260 maybe.
Probably benching 400.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he ever even lifted a weight.
Yeah.
He just is that. He's just strong.
Yep.
And I'm used to being one of the stronger guys. And
just built different.
He is built different. And but when that happened, I immediately, and I already knew weight class things anyway, I've been doing things my whole life. But I'm gonna tell you that was that real like up to date reality check of, geez, man, this guy with no effort, one handed, just moved my whole body across a very, very not slick surface.
Yep.
And put me where he wanted me. And and it makes sense too that I was on the bottom, while he was wearing me out. And I was like, yep, that's why. Right there, because he's just toying with me at this point. Yep. So anyway, I'm saying that because you brought up bears.
Yeah.
And when I tell you these bears, if they're 300 pounds, just imagine how much strength that is.
Than that, man.
Yeah. I'm just going with a small bear.
I just think about their, like, people don't know, they're like sadistic. Like, they will eat you alive.
Mm-hmm.
We have it on video. Like, it's documented that they do this. They will literally eat you alive like a zombie, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like ripping your stomach,
because they eat the
we get too graphic here, but you're alive watching yourself.
That's where the food is
being eaten. Yeah. So, and people are like, "Oh, the teddy bear, let me take a selfie." Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
no.
I promise you, he's looking at you, just thinking, "When do I do it?"
He's looking at you like,
look at his guard being down.
Do I feel like doing this right now? Because it's not even about food.
Yeah,
they just play with it.
Yeah,
they'll play with you. That's why they tell you
get food
to
anytime they want.
That's why they tell you to act dead. You know why?
So it gets bored.
Because it gets bored.
Yeah.
So even if they start hurting you, don't make any noise because they like it.
Yeah.
When you're screaming and crying, they love it.
I feel like I'd grunt a lot. If I couldn't scream, I'd just be like going.
Yeah.
You know.
You ever see the movie Matt Damon it's talking about settlers in the 1800s, and he gets attacked by a bear. Bro, it is gruesome,
No,
but it's realistic.
that's cool.
He doesn't, like, he gets jacked up, but
Yeah.
he plays dead, still gets jacked up,
Yeah.
but it doesn't kill him.
Wait, is that Leonardo DiCaprio?
Is it Leonardo?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
Leonardo.
The
not Matt Damon.
something with an R.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Y'all know what we're talking about.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, okay. So what's happened to the maps?
Hmm.
Where have the maps gone? Who holds them? Do we throw them away? Are they just in the trash?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The maps of the old. Because, we talked about this in another episode. We talked about the ships, and I used to say, there used to be maps.
Yeah.
And instead of them drawing what was over there, they didn't know. But they know that there's a freaking sea monster over there. And they would draw the Kraken or whatever
Right.
over there. And they're like, hey.
Dangerous waters.
Yeah, be careful over here. Dragons, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we have other maps that have Tartaria on it. We have all these things. So where are they being stored? Who's holding them? Why are they not considered part of, the map lineage anymore? Because we should be able to look at the maps and the progression over time of
discoveries and whatnot. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So where do we see these? Who's holding them? Who has the power of the maps?
I would guess the Vatican.
The Vatican. I knew you were going to say the Vatican. I was going to say
Smithsonian?
Smithsonian.
I've heard a lot about the Smithsonian lately.
And maybe covering up some information.
Yeah, that they have kind of like the Vatican, like a basement full of secrets.
That's right.
Basically.
Yeah. Because you give it to them. They're like, I don't even think they pay you. I think they're just like, you're offering this.
It's supposedly they're like real serious about like getting access to the archives, the same as like the Vatican. Like it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
So, which is kind of nuts because it's just our history. Like, why is it under lock and key?
Right. Exactly.
It should be public knowledge.
I'm down with the protections, like, because especially with like activists right now.
Yeah.
I would get it, and this ain't a hit at anybody. I'm just saying, like, you have a document written a couple 100 years ago, and it's the entire like spirit of a land, of a nation.
It's history.
And it's history. And you have someone who feels some kind of way about something that's in the blink of an eye of our timeline.
Yeah.
And they decide to go destroy this thing. And it's like, this is what all this was founded upon. And if we ever to see what the mistakes were, how would we be able to look at it and find those mistakes if it's gone?
Right.
How can we be better if we don't have something? Because we're doomed to repeat ourselves if we don't know our history, right?
Yeah, history repeats itself.
That's right. And so if we don't know where we came from, how do we know we're not going to start back there if we ever did do a reset? If we ever did have something like that come up. So it's just that, and plus I'm a sentimental kind of guy anyway. I'd be like, man, I'd want it just to have it, just to be like, this was us. This was whatever.
Right.
This has value.
Yeah. The history stuff's cool. But you see this time and time again of like, I think of the Library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
Where they take all the stuff, they put it in a place, and then it burns down. And it's like, why is it burned multiple times?
Yeah.
Like, why are we burning our history over and over again?
Yeah.
So,
and just there's so much information that we've lost and we have no idea.
Yeah. The Alexander the Great, whatever you want to call him, he was our version of Genghis Khan. Like, he was wild.
Yeah. He did a lot of things in a very short period of time.
And he was very young when he did it.
Very young.
That's
bro.
People talk about like revolutionaries and getting people behind you.
Yeah.
Imagine being 20 something and conquering the entire world.
Bro, how people are always like, oh, it was these old people that wrote the Constitution and the Independence, Declaration of Independence and all that stuff. These dudes were in their early 20s.
Yeah, life expectancy was like 35.
So life expectancy, I don't remember what it was back then.
It was ridiculously
yeah,
low.
yeah, yeah. It was a lot lower than
Yeah,
I
we didn't
don't know,
have.
we say that, but we still got people falling out at, in the teens and
That's true.
20s and stuff like that. But normally, no.
Yeah.
You know what? Speaking of life expectancy,
Mm-hmm.
we are all over the place, by the way. But let me just say,
Yeah. Sorry about this.
in the north,
Yep.
people are expected to live to 85.
Really? Is it
Yeah.
lower? What's
That's okay. That's higher. So the average life expectancy in America is 75.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's that low?
Yeah. 85 in the north. When I say the north, there's like this line. I don't know how everybody knows what that means. If you're from here, you know.
Yeah.
But like, let's say around Virginia. Around Virginia and north is considered north.
I would say a lot of people would say Virginia's in the South.
I said around Virginia because Washington D.C. is right in there.
Oh, it is.
So yeah, it's literally in Virginia.
Yeah,
But
sorry, Virginia.
But yeah, but yeah, I think they're north, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now that
they
you
are
say
now.
it, yeah.
They're now.
Yeah, sorry, Virginia.
So all right, so you got Virginia and up. That's basically considered north, right? So your life expectancy is around 85.
Dang.
Everything below that, life expectancy is 65.
Are you what? That can't be real.
So real.
So they have our retirement age.
There it is.
After our life expectancy.
There it is. That's what I'm talking about.
That is
okay.
insane.
Hear me out. Okay. So
You can't
They're
draw
saying-
retirement till you die.
yes, they're like, oh, retirement now to get Social Security is 67,
Yeah.
right? 65 if you take it early or whatever it is,
Oh.
something like that. But they say our life expectancy on average is 75. It's 75 because if you take 65 and 85, the average is 75.
Wow.
It's not really 75,
Yeah.
right? It depends on where you live. So they keep raising it higher. They're literally now saying you can't even get retirement until you're dead. Essentially, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you're
If you're down
expected
here.
to be dead.
Yeah. Now, if you go live up north, and I don't even know, everybody has these like theories on what that is.
I feel like the North would be lower.
Oh, why?
I feel like if you're in a major city, like metropolitan area, you would have a lower life expectancy.
Only because of crime?
No, because of stressors of living in highly dense populated areas and stuff like that. I would say traditionally those people are more fit, I guess, because of walking.
Yeah.
But there's stress.
Like they don't even drive. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's stress associated with, living amongst that many people in close proximity.
Absolutely.
So I would think that they would have a lower life expectancy.
I got sent up there one time, and that was
I've been up there.
That was an eye opener. They were like, "Oh yeah, pay this amount," and I was like, "Do I get a yard?" And they're like, "What's that?"
And that's another thing I don't. Well, never mind. We'll say that.
Yeah. But we'll keep going. All right. So the question is, do we believe this is intentional? Is it malicious? Or is this just life happening and history is disappearing?
Yeah. It's, I lean on malicious.
Malicious.
I do.
And you believe that the Vatican is intentionally holding some of these things?
Oh, yeah.
And not letting people know what their histories are?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I guess we could dive into that too, but I'm not.
Yeah, we're getting a little extended here.
Yeah. So when you step back and you look at everything we covered today, what stands out to you the most and why? Like when we talk about all these different things, the things we were supposed to talk about.
To me, what I'm most interested in, and so it would stand out more, is the timelines in America of the cities being formed and the buildings being built and what type of buildings they built and how it just doesn't add up. logically. So yeah, that would be the most standout thing for me.
Yeah. So I concur. I'm on that same wave of, if I look at all of the things in life that we've talked about in life, right? With the timelines and the ancient Tartaria and all that. Um, Not saying that Tartaria, that's not really happening, and not saying that the advanced technology they may have wasn't real,
Right.
but when I just look at like how quickly things happened here, it just is hard to swallow.
Yeah.
Think about it like this. You've lived in your city for how long? Let's say you're 30 years old and you grew up in your city.
Yeah.
All you can be like, oh, in this one area, oh wow, there's been a lot of growth over there. Oh wow, they've built some stores, and they've put a shopping center right there or something like that, right? But it's not like it's not like half a city was built in 30 years, right?
Right.
It's like and honestly, most people probably didn't see much change at all,
Yeah.
because unless you're from an area that's growing rapidly, like usually you'll be like, oh, this place is, man, this blowing up.
Yeah.
They're putting up apartments everywhere or whatever, right? Unless you have that happening in your area or nearby, most people don't see anything really going on, and you'll live there for 30 years.
Right.
Now, the argument could be made that, well, there's already something there, so why?
Mm-hmm.
But how many places do you know that could use a store or could use some other stuff, and nothing's going on? And you've been there 30 years or 40 or 50, depending on how old you are.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't happen. And then we're building these huge buildings and grandiose things and sections of city in 2 and 3 years
Right.
in the past, with none of the machinery we have.
And not even talking about the money.
Oh yeah.
They say these buildings,
where did the money come from?
They have it documented. They say these buildings were like millions of dollars to build. And it's like, who'd you pay?
Yeah.
What,
Who were you paying?
Who were you paying, and where did you get the money?
Where did it come from? Because we were doing trades with Europe. That was like our only place if we traded here, it was for clothes.
Yeah.
It was for boots and blankets. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
So we're out there trading with Native Americans, getting blankets, and yet paying $1 million for this building.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty wild.
It's weird.
I think that, and realistically, there's some truth to it, and there's some ways that this does make sense, but the way our past has been displayed to us and presented to us,
Mm-hmm.
it just doesn't add up with what we are told about how things came about.
Right.
There's somewhere in there, something doesn't add up.
Yeah,
and I think that's why we're talking about. That's why it stands out.
Yeah. There's like a step in there that's missing.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a link somewhere. There's a missing link.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I think that it's just very interesting that we are looking at this and going, we were dang horse and buggy, and yet we built a 3-story tall cathedral that's magnificent.
Yeah.
By, like I said, Alfred.
Yeah.
Who's never known nothing but growing potatoes.
Don't even have a toothbrush.
Yeah. And it's just like, wow. So, yeah, it's just something to think about. Anything else you wanted to bring up today?
No, we'll keep it there.
Yeah.
We've danced around on this one, but it was a fun one.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Throw a comment. What was the most standout thing for you guys? Maybe it was off topic. I don't know.
Maybe been the Bears.
What do we need to dive into next? Let us know.
Yes, please do. And all right, well, if you got nothing else, we will see you on the next episode.
See you guys. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.
Bye-bye.